Hey, what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of February 18th, 2016. I am Joe Fedewa.
I am Chris Chavez.
And I'm Ashley King.
All right, so we got a couple of things to go over real quick before we get into the podcast. Number one, for audio listeners, the podcast is now available on TuneIn, which is an app that's available for like Android, iOS, pretty much everywhere. You can subscribe to podcasts there. So we're in that if you're looking for another place to listen to us. Number two, we have a new email address. Apparently our email address has not been working for a while, and we had no idea, but it was finally brought to our attention. So we have a new email address. It's podcast@fandroid.com instead of mobileroar.com. So that's podcast@fandroid.com. And you can still send us your comments on Twitter @mobileroarcast, which is where we've been getting them lately. Third order of business. Forgot to mention this last week. Remember Chris's stupid story about the groundhog?
Oh my God!
That was completely
It was
not
real, right?
true
You guys
at
saw
all.
it? It was real? No?
Chris was like, he came out, he did see a shadow, and he fell off and died 2 weeks later, and it happened on the day. Like, it was Groundhog's Day when we talked about it.
See, that was the thing that made me look it up, because I was listening back to that episode, and Chris is telling the story, and then he says, yeah, and like a week later the groundhog died. But yet we were recording this 2 days after Groundhog Day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Maybe
where
it was
you
an
got
old
that
story.
from.
Maybe it was an old. I think it was the last year it died. I don't know,
No.
but I saw it. I swear. I mean, I might have had like.
You got onioned, man.
I might have had like a pot brownie or something that day. But
I think you were reading The Onion, and you took it for real, like people sometimes do.
definitely not reading the Onion. Like, not.
Yeah.
April
So now they got all
Fools.
that taken care of. Don't worry, everyone. The groundhog is alive and well.
I
I
think it
know
would have made
everyone
national
was
news if they
worried.
dropped the groundhog on its head and it died.
Yeah, that was great. I should just make a separate video of just that story and post it on Fandroid.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's get into the news this week. Obviously, the number one story is this: Apple and Google both. Tim Cook wrote a long letter to the FBI, I believe it was directed to, about basically privacy and letting them into like backdoor into iPhones and stuff like that. And then the Google CEO came out, I think it was the same day or the next day, with like a string of tweets basically confirming that, you know, Google agrees with Apple. And it was a really big deal. I don't know all the official details on this, what's going on. Maybe one of you knows better. Oh, Chris is back.
Hey, yeah. Hold on. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the FBI thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. That was a pretty. I guess it was a big. It was very controversial online yesterday, and it was like
Basically,
a really
the FBI asked Apple to create a universal way for them to unlock any encrypted device, because the San Bernardino shooter had a 4-pin passcode on her iPhone.
That's it.
And it was set up so that if it was tried 10 times, it would erase all the data on the phone. So they wanted to avoid that, and they want Apple to bypass that.
Right?
Yes.
Standard iPhone security. I mean, it's funny because you would think after watching all these television shows and movies that like the FBI has some sort of like crazy devices they can plug into stuff, and I mean they can kind of like try to brute force their way into it, but if they hit that 10 limit,
it'll wipe the phone. Yeah.
It'll wipe everything, and because it's encrypted, there's no way to get the data that would be stored in there. So they were kind of freaking out, and up until that point, Apple was like working with the FBI, you know, cooperating, helping them however they could to figure out what was going on with these stupid San Bernardino shooter things. But when the FBI asked them, like, hey, can you create a special version of iOS that will allow us to get into, you know, bypass the security, and then that's when Tim Cook just put his foot down and was like, no, we're not going to do that because, yeah.
Bravo for Tim Cook. I mean, that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I can see both sides of the argument. Some people are really pissed off because they think it's so simple, like, oh, Tim could just like go on his computer right now and just look up the PIN code. Like, you just go to this person's phone and like they have some sort of way of doing this, but Apple doesn't. And like he would have to create a whole new version of the OS, and that would open up things for hackers and all kinds of stuff. And he was just like, this is like, it would open up a can of worms, and we're not gonna do that. And it's one thing Apple prides themselves on in the iPhone and all that stuff. It's their security, and they're not going to budge for anybody, even the FBI. So
yeah, I mean, it's basically like saying, all right, we're going to give the FBI, we're going to make everyone use a new type of door lock that the FBI has a special key that they can get into anyone's house whenever they want.
Yeah. And
And,
it
like,
would be like if
no.
it was created, it would be distributed to more than just the FBI. Like I could see local law enforcement getting their hands on that.
Yeah, and it sucks, but I mean that's the way the world works. And it's kind of, I mean, people always say stuff like, with what is it, like surveillance and all that stuff, like, well, if you're not doing anything bad, you have nothing to worry about. And it's like, I mean, yeah, that is kind of true, but at the same time, we all should have our privacy, and Apple is sticking up for us, and I think that's good, even if it's, in this case, it's kind of sucky, because I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of information on these people's phones, but yeah, I'm kind of like in between, but I guess ultimately I do agree with Tim Cook. And then eventually people are getting really upset because Google was staying very quiet on the subject, and then out of nowhere, Sundar Pichai, Google CEO, he released a big old huge statement, a multi-tweet statement on Twitter, and he just basically said, yeah, like, we're siding with Tim Cook. We agree with him, which is interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
It's basically just about not setting a precedent.
Right.
Yeah, that's what all of them were kind of saying. It's the whole slippery slope thing, and just, yeah, you can't do it. Can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's strange to me that some people are like okay with it, because I think those people would not be okay with, like, using my example, the FBI or whatever, just entering their house without a warrant. Like, people wouldn't be okay with that because there's like a lot of personal information that you keep in your house, and you keep a lot of personal information on your phone too. Even if you don't have anything to hide.
That's the argument usually I hear people still make. Well, yeah, they could do that. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not doing anything wrong.
You don't have anything to hide, but anything that can be used against you will be used against you in any context that it can be brought up. So,
yeah. And I mean, ultimately, this is good. It's good to protect your citizens and their privacy and all this stuff. And it's like, I mean, it goes back to the whole, I mean, I don't know if that's a good analogy, but like the free speech thing. Sure, people will use things for evil, and I mean, the benefit of free speech is that it helps, it benefits everybody, the entire country. But I mean, yeah, there are douchebags that will use it for bad things, and the same kind of goes for this whole privacy issue and the encryption on your phones and stuff. It's better for us as a whole, and yes, bad people will use it, but again, it's just, I think it's a good thing. Ultimately.
Yeah, you can't let the few people that abuse something ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah. And I mean, and this whole San Bernardino thing, that it hits really close to home. It's like, I mean, barely 10 minutes away from my house. I mean, I used to live in San Bernardino County my entire life, so I mean, we have friends and family and stuff that worked in that same area that the whole thing went down in. So I get it, and I know there's people that are really pissed off about it. But it's just, it's not as simple as a lot of people think, and they think like they could just literally just hand them a little USB and they could just plug it in.
But yeah, so we know this is obviously a controversial topic, so use that new email address we have and our Twitter account and let us know how you feel about this, and next week maybe we'll get some differing opinions that we can talk about. But moving on to more techie type news. Is the Galaxy S7 waterproof? Is it? Are you guys frozen again?
I think Chris might be frozen again.
Chris is frozen. All right, you're here. Good. Did you see all the weird weirdness going on with the waterproof Galaxy S7 this week?
Yes, I did.
So flippin' weird.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this teaser video, I guess, that Samsung put out on Twitter, and they didn't say anything about S7. It was just like a Samsung Galaxy video,
Mm-hmm.
and teasing like the next generation, whatever. And in this video, there's a scene where this person's using a Samsung Galaxy phone, and it's like raining, and quite a few sites thought that this was an indicator that the S7 is going to be waterproof.
Well, I mean, the guy's sitting there holding it, like, in the rain, and, like, the
Yeah.
phone is all rained on. Like, why wouldn't that be waterproof?
It was wet. Like, this phone was drenched with
Yeah.
rain.
So the funny thing about it is that if anyone took the time to actually read the description, which no one really did, it said in the description something to the effect of the Samsung Galaxy is not waterproof. This is a dramatization. And so that was kind of just like, all right, so that was stupid. Why did you show your phone in the water? But then the next day, I think it was the next day, another video from Samsung. And this time they dropped the phone in a friggin' pool, completely submerged. So either they're just trolling us all now, or the next Samsung phone is going to have some sort of waterproof ability. I don't know what to think.
I don't know what to think either. Like, why would you advertise these features and then, like, include this little disclaimer that's like, oh, those things you saw us do? Yeah, you can't do that with the real phone.
Yeah, it goes completely, but like, you're
It's
just trying to
almost
make
false
it look
advertising
cool.
at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
like
know
the same as like showing, I don't know, an app on the screen and then being like, oh yeah, this app is not available on the phone.
Yeah.
Chris, are you with us?
Chris is
All
having
right, Chris
internet
is having some
troubles.
technical issues, apparently. Isn't it great that we're live now, that these things can happen?
We never had issues like this when we weren't.
It's so true.
For
We never
6 months,
did.
there was never an issue like this.
Yep. All right, well, we'll let Chris figure that all out. But so, of course, MWC is next week, and so there's been a lot of rumors leading up to this point, and there's still a lot of rumors coming out. Thankfully, after next week, they'll all be confirmed. So we'll go over some of the newer ones from the last week. Of course, there's the waterproof thing. We also saw a leaked photo of the LG G5.
It is ugly. I'm glad that I got off my LG kick because, oh my god, that phone looks so cheap.
I don't know. I can't decide what I think about the look of it because I don't know. There haven't been that many really great photos of it.
Mm-hmm. The leaks that I've seen have made it look like they tried to like mimic HTC's design a little bit, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't know what's up with that camera hump on the back. And I guess I shouldn't be too critical of it because when they first started showing the Nexus 6P, I was like, oh my god, what is that thing? And now it's like my favorite Android phone of all time. So
Yeah. Well, speaking of the bump, one of the things that we've been talking a lot about the G5 is that weird accessory magic slot or whatever. And that was one of the leaks this week, showing this really huge bump on the back,
mm-hmm.
which is apparently like one of the accessories that you can slide on it. I don't know if it's an external battery accessory or what it is, but that looks more ridiculous than the Apple battery case when you have that on.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah, the G5, honestly, of like the three, if you consider like the Galaxy S7, the G5, and the HTC One M10 as like the three big flagships coming up, I'm really curious about the G5 the most, I think, just because of that weird accessory thing.
I'm interested to see if they improve their software at all because going from the G3 to the G2 to the G3, it felt like their software was snappier. I never had the G4 to compare it to the G3.
Yeah.
But I am wondering if they'll do any software improvements.
It wasn't too bad, I didn't think, but they could definitely use some improvements, sure. Chris, are you with us? No? I see you moving, but I don't hear you.
Yeah, he's with us. We can't hear him.
Anyway, moving on. So the Galaxy S7, besides the weird waterness. So we're seeing some leaked photos this week of the S7 with micro USB slot and
Samsung Knights must have really got on him.
sorry, I said micro USB slot, micro SD slot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy because they made such a big deal about removing that, and the S Knights said it was okay. It's good.
Of course it was okay. It was Samsung's decision to remove it.
No, Chris, your audio is not working. And actually, you mentioned the G5 looking a little bit more like the recent HTC phones. I can see a little bit of that in the S7 too.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more rounder than the last one, like the corners.
Mm-hmm.
In like 10 years, every phone's going to look the same.
It is. Oh, there's only so much you can do to something that's just a flat rectangle.
Yeah, that's what they used to always say, though, but I feel like there are a lot of different looking phones out there.
There are a lot of not good looking phones out there.
That's true.
There are only a few good designs.
All right, and then the last flagship, the M10, there hasn't been as much about that coming out lately, but that will be the week after MWC. So we don't really have much new in that front, but
Hello.
Yay,
Chris, I hear you.
Oh, sweet.
What's going on over there?
You missed me ragging on LG.
I just keep getting these my whole tab just says, "Oh snap," and then it just shuts down Hangouts, and I don't know why it keeps doing
Probably
that.
because you have like 150 other tabs.
I closed them all. I closed all of them. I only have like 10 right now, so I don't get it.
He only has 10. I rarely ever have 10 tabs open.
I have like so much RAM on this computer.
I know you do.
I have so much RAM on this computer.
So much, just for my tabs.
All right, so while you were gone, we were talking about the Galaxy S7 waterproof drama.
Yes.
And also we went over some of the rumors that came out about the S7 and the G5 this week. Any thoughts on those topics?
I think it was funny, the whole water thing, as I think I was kind of talking about, but because they put the dang hashtag, it was Samsung Thailand or something, and then they put the hashtag the next Galaxy in the title, like this video, or in the description.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're like, oh, they're showing off the next Galaxy, and I mean, it makes sense that everyone assumed it. But yeah, that was silly.
Did you see the latest thing they did? That I don't know if this is like a troll or what, but Samsung Mobile USA posted a photo of a waterfall on Twitter.
That's it? Just a waterfall?
With the hashtag Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, but it's just funny to me that they posted a picture of a waterfall after all this waterproof stuff.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's gonna be waterproof. That's my guess. It's gonna
100%.
I want to know your opinion of the design of what we've seen of the LG G5.
I love it. I freaking
You love it?
I love it. I love
Actually,
it.
It looks so cheap to me.
You haven't seen it in person, and I think it might have like.
That's true. That's what I was telling Joe. Like, I didn't like the way the Nexus 6P looks either. So.
Yes, that looked horrible and leaked, and all the leaks and all that. But I think this is going to look really, really cool. I have a good feeling. It looks so sleek and rounded, and it looks kind of like an iPhone, but like with LG stuff infused, and you could pop off the bottom and put a little like battery pack tuner on the back of it.
Battery pack tuner.
I told Ashley that looks uglier than the Apple battery case.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris just froze again. Well, we got his opinion on those things, and now we don't need him anymore. I'll skip over this next topic because I wanted Chris to talk about the new edge screen features. But so Samsung, the Gear S2 has an eSIM. Did you see this, Ashley?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so this eSIM, you actually can choose your carrier from the SIM. Like, you don't need to put a SIM card in it. Like, you don't need to put an AT&T SIM card in it. Obviously, you couldn't do that with the watch.
Right.
You don't have to have like a SIM card from the carrier or anything. It's digital. You like choose what your carrier is, And so this is kind of like what the future of SIM
I was
cards
going
and
to say
phones
that
is going to
sounds
be.
like they're going to start doing that with phones too, because they're constantly trying to get them thinner, smaller, and one of the things that keeps them from doing that is the SIM card tray.
Right. So I guess in the future we'll have these like really small eSIMs, and somehow you'll be able to. I don't know how it works, how you choose your carrier, how that works, but
I wonder if
it's
it's
pretty
just like an
interesting.
app or something.
Yeah, like how would you prove what carrier you're on though? I guess you would put in your account information.
Yeah, that's really
I,
weird.
I guess that would work. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I think we talked about this before when they were rumored to be doing this, because it's so easy to just take your SIM card out of one device and put it in another. And if you did it this way, like I guess it would be still pretty easy, just like sign in to something. I don't know, but it seems like it would be taking a step back in convenience. But I guess people probably don't like having to pop out their SIM cards every time either. So I
I
don't know.
mean,
Maybe I'm
it's
just
never.
crazy.
I like it that I don't have to pop out SIM, or that I do have pop out SIM cards, just because if I get a new phone, I don't have to call AT&T or Verizon or whoever. Just put the new SIM
Yeah.
in the new phone.
Like that was one of the biggest reasons why I switched to AT&T from Verizon is I
Mm-hmm.
hated having to do that, and also it limits the phones that you can use. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you have an AT&T or T-Mobile carrier, what's the technology? Not CDMA.
GSM.
GSM, there you go. When you have a GSM, it's so much easier to just buy a phone like on Amazon or something and then just put
Yeah.
your SIM card and use it. Something you can't really do on Verizon. But yeah, this new SIM thing sounds like it could be pretty cool. And I mean, I don't really think that we need to get rid of SIM card slots to make phones thinner, but to make them
Definitely not to
better,
make them thinner, but like, is the eSIM on the Gear S2 so that it can actually like make and take phone calls?
I believe it can like act pretty much as a phone. Like that's what Samsung is doing with their smartwatches is they make them more like full-blown phones rather than just like a notification center.
Right.
So interesting.
It is interesting tech.
Twitter is getting some new features also. Uh, GIF search or GIF.
GIF search.
I say GIF.
I do say GIF. I will forever say GIF. You
Yeah.
will not get me to say GIF.
Occasionally when I'm reading online, like I'll say GIF in my head, weirdly, but I always say GIF out loud. But we've had this discussion on this podcast before. But anyway, so they're gonna have GIF search now, which is, I guess if you've ever used like Facebook Messenger has this where you can just hit a button and then start typing a word. Like say you wanted to post a GIF of SpongeBob SquarePants, you just hit the search button and you start typing SpongeBob, and all GIFs related to SpongeBob will pop up, and then you can just choose one. So instead of like going to Giphy's website, finding a GIF and then posting it in your tweet, you can just find it right from within Twitter.
Flexi kind of does that too with their keyboard. They have like
Yeah.
a GIF search built into the keyboard, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's a feature that you're starting to see more and more as like GIFs become more popular. And as someone who uses Messenger like all the time, I love GIF search. And I have a feeling Twitter is going to become like 10 times more GIFier now.
I feel like Twitter is just like looking at what Facebook does and goes, yeah, we should do that, guys.
Can you even post GIFs in like a regular Facebook status update?
I don't think you can. I tried it. Like, okay, so the other day, I tried posting a GIF on Fandroid's Facebook account of like Macho Man Randy Savage, but
Yeah.
it didn't. I posted like the GIF, but it was just frozen, and then there was no way. Like, it didn't autoplay. It wasn't doing anything. So it
There's like a secret way to do it because I noticed a site did it.
yeah.
And, like it says like GIF over it in like a circle.
Yes. There's a
And-
way. I don't know how.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to do it either.
Some of those Facebook secrets.
I was like Googling it one day and I could not figure out how to do it. Weird. But yeah, so and then the other thing Twitter's adding is you can send videos in direct messages.
Also very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so Twitter's adding some features that I think will make Twitter
Have
better.
they mentioned or gone back to the discussion of them upping the character count? Like, I know 10,000 is way too many, but was there any, like, okay, we listened to your feedback and we're considering a lower number, or have they just not talked about it at all?
Nothing yet.
Wow.
And I don't know if I even. I mean, I could go for like a little bit of a character.
I was gonna
bump.
say like 256.
Yeah, like some kind of bump. But I don't, or maybe just at least for verified accounts, maybe or something where you can post like a bunch of stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I think the max I would want them to go is maybe 500.
Yeah.
But I don't even want them to go over 1,000, let alone 10,000. I just keep thinking about the day that they enable that is going to be the worst day to be on Twitter ever. Because people are just going to be like trolling everyone and posting 10,000 characters in every tweet.
Maybe it's not such a good. You're right. I don't know. I mean, I think
I just
it'll
hope that
balance out
there's.
eventually.
You have to hope that there's going to be a way that if they do it like that, it will maybe only show like the first 140, and then there will be a button to click to like expand the tweet or something along those lines.
Yeah. I could see them doing it that way. Yeah.
That'd be way better.
For sure. All right, we skipped over a topic while you're gone, Chris, because I wanted you to talk about this. The new edge screen features from Samsung.
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool.
I know you always didn't really like what they did with it.
Well, before they just had like a little tick. They were trying to, with the original Galaxy S6 Edge, they were trying to say the curve of the edge was like that gave the phone somehow like added functionality, and that was allowing you to see stuff when your phone is on its side. It was ridiculous because the curve is so small, like really only like half of what's being displayed is even showing there. So finally,
I literally turned off all the edge screen features when I have the S6.
Yeah. So in Android 6.0 Marshmallow, they're just like, you know what, forget it. You're right. It is kind of stupid, and we're just gonna open it up and make the whole like edge panel extend much further. It's like twice as big or something. So now that you had the little panels stuff that displays, but it shows in I guess portrait mode. Before, like the stuff that would show would be in landscape mode, so the stuff would just scroll long ways, which is just so dumb.
It's like a stock feed or something.
Yeah, like a little stock ticker. And it was just, it didn't make any sense. So now it's more functional now. You can it shows more information. They put all these different widgets and stuff in there, and it seems pretty cool. But there still is no point or no reason why they can't just do this for the regular S6 or S7 or the regular S6 or any of their other phones. It's just really kind of dumb that they just made this feature exclusively for the S7 Edge and the S6 Edge. It's just makes no sense. It's silly, but it's cool. I think it looks pretty cool. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks really rad.
Yeah, I've really come around on the curved displays. I wasn't really a big fan of it at first because I had the Note 5 and the S6 Edge Plus, and I used the Note 5 primarily for a long time, and then I kind of switched. But I will say it's because I have a case on the S6 Edge. Like, if you don't have a case on those Edge phones, they really suck to hold.
Really hard to hold. Yeah, they're so thin on the sides. It's a little bit weird. On that note, my S6 Edge is broken, and it's been broken for a while, and I just inquired the other day to try to fix it. And just to try to buy the whole display housing thing is like so much more expensive than if you just had a regular flat phone.
Oh yeah.
Prices are crazy on eBay, like $250, and I'm like, that's just
at that point there's no point in fixing it.
Yeah. I just left it. I'm just leaving it broken.
I mean, displays are kind of expensive in general because when I dropped my Nexus 6, the screen cracked, and I really liked that phone at that time. I was using it a lot, and I thought, I wonder how much it would cost to like replace the display, and it's pretty pricey, and it's not really that easy to do either. So
no, not at all. Yeah, I have a buddy of mine who like works in a shop that just does phone repairs. So when my brother broke his like Galaxy S5 or whatever, I just bought the part on eBay, which was like $120 for the display and the digitizer and all that. and shipped it off to him, and he just repaired it for free. So that's kind of the best route, is to know somebody that knows how to do it. Otherwise, it does get pretty expensive. You might be better off just buying a whole new phone.
Yep. All right, couple of things here. So, Kanye West's new album is only available on Tidal.
Wow.
The Life of Pablo. Life of Pablo.
I do not have Tidal. Do any of you have Tidal?
No, nobody has Tidal. What are you talking about?
I know. There are a few people I follow on Twitter that have Tidal, but it seems like most people are not fans of it. So,
Yeah,
interesting business decision from someone who apparently needs money.
Yeah, he's $53 million in debt. He came out on Twitter announcing that, I guess. And then he asked, what was it, Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion for his ideas. I have ideas.
Yeah. Well, he's so out of touch because
$1
what was the tweet? He said, I have a friend who works really hard and makes only $370 a day. And then, like, people actually, like, dissected that, and it's like, dude, that's $45 an hour. It's like $90,000 a year. What are you talking about?
That's pretty good.
He has no concept of what money is anymore, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, his whole thing was, like, textbooks are expensive, and yeah, I get it. And it's like, well, I mean, if she has to pay $150 for a book, and it's like, yeah, it still leaves her with $150, like, that day. And she's still making $360 the next day. Like, nah, whatever. It's so dumb.
We won't spend any more time talking about Kanye. He's getting enough publicity lately.
Yeah.
Every tweet, someone writes a post about it.
That's true.
All right, Chris. Picasa is officially dead.
I killed it. Google's killing it. I don't know anyone that was still using Picasa.
Nope.
It was kind of integrated with Google Plus way back in the day, so like all your Picasa stuff would show up on Google Plus, photos or whatever they had. But since like now they're kind of trying to, I don't know if Google's trying to kill Google Plus or just kind of put it off into its own little thing, but they just finally gave up on Picasa and said they're going to be shutting down the service in March. Yeah. So if you're still using it, just move over to Google Photos.
I was going to say, Photos does the same thing that Picasa does. It's just a different name.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I don't think Google's killing Google Plus. I think they're finally treating it how they should have since the beginning.
Completely separate.
Yeah, like just let it be its own thing. It doesn't have to have its tentacles in every single Google product.
That was such a terrible idea. And I almost feel like it might have done better on its own. It might have thrived a little better.
Oh, yeah. The forcing Google Plus on everybody absolutely did more harm than good.
Yeah, for real.
All right, that's going to do it for our news this week. So let's do some wins and fails of the week. I actually have 2 wins and 1 fail this week, so bonus.
Nice.
My first win is going to be the Facebook mobile website in Chrome now finally has a colored status bar. So that's cool because it usually wouldn't be a big deal, but there have been so many posts lately about how if you don't use the Facebook app, you get dramatically better battery life and performance on your phone. And so, I mean, I've been using the mobile website for a really long time. I've mentioned it on here before. But now you get that colored status bar, and it looks almost exactly like you are using the official Facebook app. So if that was like the one thing holding you back, you're like, it just doesn't look like a native app. Well, now it does. So it's a small thing, but
it is very small. Small
things matter, and they improve the performance just a little bit, or not the performance. They improve the experience just a little bit.
Chris, do you use the Facebook app?
I don't. Do I? I do on my iOS devices. I don't on my Android. I use the browser mostly.
I have a wrapper called Folio that I use, so it's interesting that neither of the 3 of us actually uses the Facebook app.
I'm just wondering if Messenger is doing the same damage as Facebook is.
I don't think so. It's a much more lightweight app.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Because I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's probably different. But I mean, like the permission-wise, they both ask for like almost all the same permissions, like location services and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's funny you say that you use the iOS app because I think there was the same report for iOS that actually hurts iOS
Was there?
devices too. Yeah.
I installed it the other day because something happened with my battery life, and it was definitely Facebook because Facebook was using like 48% of my iPhone's battery, so I had to uninstall it. But then after a while, I was just like, you know what, maybe I'll just reinstall it to see, and it fixed it. So I don't know what the problem was, but uninstall and reinstall and fix whatever problem there was. But
my second win is going to be a retraction of what I said last week. So Doze is a new feature in Android Wear or Marshmallow on Moto 360 and a bunch of other watches. I thought it was kind of a silly feature because like you're wearing your watch all the time, you're moving your arms all the time, so like Doze never really has a chance to work.
yeah.
But I've actually noticed that battery life on this first gen Moto 360 is considerably better. Yesterday at like 11 o'clock when I went to bed, my battery was at 60%. Which
on the first gen?
Yes. And I was like, what? And so I just set it down on my nightstand, and this morning it was at like 50%. It only had gone down 10% at night, which compared to the phone's Doze is not as good, but like it's actually pretty decent for a watch. And so I haven't charged it at all in 2 days, and let's see what percent it is now. It's still at 35% right now.
What?
So it really did improve battery life on this first gen Moto.
That makes me kind of want to go out and buy like a cheap first gen Moto 360 just to see if I would actually like smartwatches, because you can get them all day long on eBay for like $125.
How's the performance? Is it smoother or like less laggy?
Well, I just switched back from the Moto 360 Sport, which is like the improved one, and performance does not seem to be any worse to me at all. It seems to be actually a lot better than what I remember on this watch.
Yeah, my Moto 360.
I don't know what's going on.
Moto 360 has been lagging a lot lately, and then I haven't done I had the system update. It's like the little notification sitting there on my watch, but I won't do it because I had a couple of people like send me messages on like social media and stuff. They're saying that the update like crashed, completely froze or bricked their watch. So now I'm like,
that's weird.
I don't know if it's going to be worth it to update. So I'm kind of just waiting maybe for like another update perhaps before I do this one. I'm a little scared.
I actually did a test the first day that I had Doze on both the 360 Sport and this first gen, and I posted the results on Google+. So overnight, the Sport dropped from 38% to 13%, but the Moto 360 first gen only dropped from 68% to 56%, which is a much smaller drop, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Ooh.
It's pretty interesting.
So yeah, I mean, hey, if you want a cheap smartwatch, go out there and get the 360 first gen and get that Marshmallow update.
Go get it.
All right, and then my fail is going to be, this is going to be for the sports fans out there. So ESPN tried this weird thing this week in a basketball game. They called it floor seats cam, and they wanted to show people what it was like to have floor seats, like those really expensive seats that are right on the floor.
Be like Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, you see celebrities sitting in those seats all the time. They're super expensive, and you think, oh, these are great. And they might be if you're at an actual game. But so what they did was they put their camera people in those seats, and they filmed the entire game at the floor level, and it was so horrible. Like, if you follow me on Twitter, I retweeted a Vine, and like half the time, the ref was standing like right in the frame, and so people on Twitter started calling it butt cam because like all you were seeing was the butts of these refs, and sometimes the refs would be standing in front of the hoop, so you couldn't even see if like the shot went in. It was the worst experiment I've ever seen, and like that's all Twitter was just talking about that night, and. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be trying that experiment ever again.
It's a failed experiment.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Stupid. All right, Chris, what do you got?
That is a good question because I haven't opened Chrome yet. I'm scared to.
Leo's red carpet rampage. I'll read it.
Leo's red carpet rampage. Oh my gosh,
This sounds like a video game.
This is the coolest. I mean, it's a win because it's awesome. But yeah, it's a browser game, so you could play it if you have. I was gonna write it on Fandroid, but I guess it's not too Android related. But you can play it in your Chrome web browser, if it doesn't keep crashing on you like me. But the game is awesome. It's just kind of not really poking fun, but just making light of Leo's situation because he can't seem to get a Grammy. But he keeps Oscar, but he keeps getting like Golden Globes and all these other things for his work, which is funny. I feel like people are just throwing him a bone at this point. But the game is fun. It's like this 8-bit style, and it's just very basic keyboard pressing stuff, and it's just hilarious because it's got some scenes from his movies in there. My favorite scene is when it's like act harder because he's like trying so hard, and it's like a little meter that fills up, and you got to push it, and he's just like, whoa, like trying to act as hard as he can, and his face gets all contorted, and it's like I was just busting up laughing. This game is so awesome. And yeah, I don't know if it's gonna help him get an Oscar, but we'll see.
Have you guys either of you seen The Revenant?
No, I haven't yet. I heard some people say it was kind of boring, but well acted. And I feel like
it is boring. I saw it, and for the sake of Leo's life, I hope he does get the Oscar.
Yeah, dude's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill himself trying to get this damn Oscar. And
he ate like an actual raw liver, and like
gross.
He almost got frostbite several times.
He's trying so hard, and I think the key to getting an Oscar is like joining the Church of Scientology. Maybe he should try that before he goes and kills himself or something. But
actors are kind of weird sometimes because, like for example, the raw liver thing. Like I remember the scene from the movie, and when I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself like that's a fake thing, like he's not.
Look at that liver; it's so fake.
And like it didn't look fake. It's just one of those things where you assume like, oh, of course they're not going to eat an actual raw liver, and you're kind of amazed by how realistic it looks, but you assume that it's fake. And then I hear afterward that he actually did it. I'm just like, dude, why? Like no one wants you to do that. No one cares that you did that.
Could have just CGI'd it in there.
No one cares you're that authentic.
Yeah.
He just absorbed himself into the role. Poor Leo. So that's my win. The game is really fun. You guys should check it out. Red Carpet. I forget what the domain is, but we'll put it in.
Leo's Red Carpet Rampage.
My favorite for the week is going to be. It's another win. I have 2 wins. So last week there was a big update. Well, it was kind of a small update to Google Maps, and hidden inside of Google Maps there was this little feature that allows you to disable voice guidance while you're on a call. And it has completely changed the way I use Google Maps because it's been the most frustrating experience when you're on a phone call and you have navigation going and the lady is literally talking over you and blaring. And I've been on the receiving end. I've been on the other end where I've heard it, and the lady's freaking loud. She's screaming at you like, hey, turn left! No! So this is great. You can turn it off, but it's optional. So you're gonna have to go into your settings and go to navigation and do it yourself. But you should definitely do that if it's been bothering you a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty much the worst thing ever when that happens.
For years this has been going on. So definitely go turn that on. It's a big win for Google Maps users.
Cool.
All right, Ashley.
I think we all have double wins because I originally had the fail of the FBI shooter, but we've already talked about that, so I don't want to go over it again. My win for the week is Google Play Games is actually getting gamer IDs. Like you'll be able to choose your own name. Yeah.
Super hyped about this.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I just wish it was available. It's not. It's rolling out, so it's not open to everyone yet. That's kind of.
I've opened 3 or 4 of my games that I know use Google Play Game services, and I have not yet once been prompted to create my ID.
It's making me very, very nervous. So the way you activate it is you have to open a game that uses Google Play Games, and the easiest way to do that is just to open or download the Google Play Games app, and then open the app, and then it has a list of like tons of different games that all use it. So open a new game that you've never played before, install it, and then when you open it, it'll try to log in, and that's how it kind of forces it. And then it'll say, oh, you should create a new gamer tag ID PSN, like whatever they call it. And then you can create your own unique username. So it would, if you see that, jump on your username and don't you do mine.
Don't jump on Krista's username.
Don't even say that. Someone's gonna do it now.
I'm going to be interested to see what their policy will be for changing usernames, because like everyone is kind of weird about that.
Yes. On Xbox, you pay money to change yours. On PSN,
ridiculous.
You can't do it on Sony at all.
Which is also ridiculous.
And you're stuck with it.
You're stuck with it forever. It's forever tied to your account, and Sony's just like, we don't know how. We don't know how. We can't do it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if you can actually change it later. That's kind of what I'm most curious about, because, yeah, people choose really stupid names.
Man, I just downloaded a brand new game just to see if it would work, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I got some Tappy Bird game, and I was just not having it. I got to uninstall it now, but.
I just downloaded a game called Trousers.
This is Google's tact. They don't want to tell you, like, it's not. They want you to download all these ridiculous games.
Yeah.
Increase their installs and all that stuff.
Is that the official name for it? Gamer ID?
Yes, Gamer ID.
All right.
Yeah.
My second wind is going to be directed at. Did I say wind? Wind is going to be directed at Chris. Do you remember at CES I asked you what keyboard you were using? No, you don't remember. I was watching Chris use this keyboard, and like he was doing all these crazy gesture things, but it didn't look like swipe. So I was like, "What the?" And I asked him. It was Flexi, and I tried Flexi before, and I never really got used to it because it was, I guess, so weird to be doing back forth swipes to like erase words and save them. But I've been using it for a week now, and I don't think I could use any other keyboard now. Like I'm a stickler for punctuation in my text messages or when I'm talking on Hangouts, and just being able to swipe a comma in is the best thing.
Yeah, and
I was gonna ask, what are the gestures that you're talking about that are so cool?
So you swipe back to get rid of a word if you've typed it wrong or the autocorrect just completely messed it up. You can swipe up to switch between the autocorrects. So say you type in the word tap and you actually meant to be zap, like if it's one of the recommendations, just swipe up 2 times until you get to it.
Oh.
And you can swipe up on backspace for enter. Like you can completely get rid of the space bar, which is a huge space saver on the screen.
Yeah, it frees up a lot of screen real estate, and it's cool. It becomes second nature after a while. So once you use it a lot, but that's another thing. You have to really give it a chance.
Yeah, like you have to stick with it, which I had never done when I used it before. And I actually bought Flexi when it was a paid app. It's free now.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since it first came out. So even if you used it back when it first came out, there's a lot that's changed on it. And now they made it more kind of like a traditional keyboard, and then you can still go back to like the classic Flexi stuff, but it's awesome, and the autocorrect is just spot on, amazing.
It really is, and the way you teach it to like learn words, instead of having to just tap on the word or something, you just swipe up twice and it'll learn the word. Or if you teach it a word that you didn't mean to teach it, you can swipe up again and it'll forget that word.
It's great.
I've tried it before and I've never really gave those gestures a chance. Maybe I'll have to try again. I'm pretty happy with SwiftKey though. Does it have predictive emoji?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Then maybe I can use it. It's so sad that that's like my number one.
I need predictive emoji. Does it have it?
I never thought that I'd be so into emoji, but...
Yeah. No, it is, because, man, I forget what I was using. I think on iOS or something, but it doesn't have predictive emoji. So I'm sitting there, and I swear it's been like 3 minutes have gone by, and I'm just like, where is it? Looking for this stupid little emoji that I know exists, and I can't find them in the thing. And
that's the thing. It's not like I use emoji just an obscene amount. It's like the few times that I want to use an emoji, I don't want to spend 3 minutes searching through all of them just to find one.
Mm-hmm.
Drives me nuts. It was just a stupid squinty, like happy, like
Use it for a week, Joe, and see if you like it. I'd be curious.
All right, I'll give it a try maybe No promises. I'll probably forget that I ever said that when this podcast is over. So, speaking of apps, let's do some app recommendations or app picks. As we call it. This is gonna be like a photo-heavy app pick, I guess, because mine is gonna be Focus. If you are not happy with the gallery app that comes with your phone, try Focus. It is a really nice, clean, easy to use, and just very simple gallery app. And that is exactly what I want. I can't remember what phone it is. I think this Huawei one that I'm using has a weird gallery. Samsung's gallery is all right. LG's gallery is kind of weird, but and I don't like the Google Photos app like at all. So if I'm using a Nexus phone, I always replace that. All I want is just a super simple gallery that just shows me my photos. That's all I want.
Clean, nice and clean.
Yeah, and I was having a hard time finding that until I came across Focus, and I mean, there's really nothing that special about it. It's just very simple and very easy to use. So it has material design and all that good stuff if you like that. But yeah, just a really nice, clean, easy to use gallery app.
My favorite thing is that it does the recent pictures at the top.
Yeah, that is nice.
It makes it so handy because if you just downloaded some picture, and because it usually puts stuff in like different folders and all that stuff, but you want to see the most recent stuff that you've just downloaded, and it makes it so easy. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, it's set up really nice. I like it a lot. Don't use QuickPick.
Yeah, do not use QuickPick.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
My epic's going to be Ever Album, and it's like a backup. It's kind of like a gallery app too, but it's trying to do what Google Photos does. It offers unlimited high-quality backups, and then there's also a premium version for $10 a month, which will do unlimited, just full resolution backups. And it's cool if you're trying to kind of get away from Google, pull away from their services, and you don't want to be on the Google's radar and all that stuff. But honestly, it's just probably cheaper to go the Google Photos way. But there are people out there that really do hate Google Photos. So this is kind of a nice alternative, and it's probably the only application. It's really big on iOS, but yeah, it's one of the only that does unlimited high-quality backups. It's pretty great, and they can pull in your photos from Facebook and Google Photos as well and back those up, so they'll just all be in one nice little spot. Pretty cool. It looks nice, and I think it's really good for just kind of basic users, maybe like moms, soccer moms and dads or something. But yeah, that's my pick.
Okay. Ashley has two for us.
I do. I have two, and neither one of them is a game.
What?
I think you guys may have talked about my first one already. It's called Gallery Doctor. The other day I was going through my gallery on my phone, and I saw so many terrible pictures that I had taken. And I was like, oh, these are crap. I need to delete them. And I didn't want to go through and just have to select them all. So I downloaded this app called Gallery Doctor. And what it does is it analyzes your entire gallery, all of them. And if it finds duplicate pictures or pictures where everything is blurry or there's something wrong with it, it will alert you. And you can choose to delete those in one interface so you don't have to go through your gallery. And it's really, really handy. It took me like 5 minutes to clean up about 500 photos. Yeah, it's really quickly.
It is really cool. It's like
Is that the Tinder-like
Tinder
one?
for photos.
Yeah, it is a lot like Tinder for photos.
Yeah, when it came out, I did a video about it on Fandroid, and I thought it was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. My other one is also a gallery. It's called Pictures with a K. It's a really nicely designed app. I don't know that I would call it material design because it's a little strange, but my favorite feature is it has a calendar setting on it. So when you open it up, you can click on the calendar, and it will show you all the pictures that you've taken on the day that they were taken. So if you remember that you took pictures on a day, but you don't exactly know where they are in your gallery, you can flip to that mode and just see. It's really neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been using Pictures for a long time. I recently just stopped and started using Focus, but Pictures also has like your most recent pictures too.
Yeah, it
That little
does.
view, which is a great. I have to have that. It's like a must-have feature in galleries is most recent photos.
I take
Yes.
a lot of photos, so I can see why you would need that.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like we actually did not plan to all have photo
No, we
related
didn't.
apps.
Oh, we should do
And it
more
just happened.
themed. We should do more themed app picks.
Give people choices. Like, oh, if you don't like Chris's recommendation, try mine.
Yeah. Of all the apps we recommended today, I mean, you should be able to find at least one good one for your
One
photos.
decent gallery app. Or if you like KitKat's gallery app from way back in the day, Throwback Thursdays.
I used that for the longest when I was on KitKat. It's a really good app.
Yeah, I still kind of use it from time to time because I just like, I'm so used to it maybe, but there's Gallery KitKat or Gallery KK on the Google Play Store. It's free, and then I think it comes with ads, but then there's like $1 to unlock or get rid of the ads. But it's awesome. It's the KitKat gallery that it's all hollow designed and everything. Holo.
Isn't that the one that had
Holo.
like the weird 3D effect?
No, that's gingerbread.
Okay.
That's before
Way
my
too
time.
far back.
That ain't before your time.
Wasn't even born back
Google
then.
Chris Chavez on YouTube. Chris Chavez G1.
Stop it.
Yeah, there's your fun tip for the podcast. Go on YouTube and search Chris Chavez
please
G1.
don't. I gotta make all those videos private. It's been way too long.
It's your heritage, Chris.
They haven't aged well. Let's just say that.
Don't hide your history. Embrace it. All right, we got one Twitter question this week. It's from @MarkofTheBeast.
Oh.
And he is wondering about the S7. He's heard that not being able to hot swap SD cards you won't be able to hot swap SD cards with Android Marshmallow. Will we lose SD access because it may mess with system memory? I don't really have any idea about any of that.
Oh shoot. That is a good question, actually. I never even really thought about that. So for people that like to it's an option. You don't have to use the SD card as system memory, but if you do that, then yes, you're not going to be able to just gank it out of there. It'll probably do something weird like reboot the whole phone or something. I'm not sure how. I have to play with it to know for certain, but because this whole there's not too many phones that have SD card support and use Marshmallow right now. So that is interesting. I doubt you won't be able to enjoy the best of both worlds. So you won't be able to use an SD card as system memory and then pop it out and then do other stuff with it. I'm guessing, and I think you have to actually format the SD card completely once you do this, but yeah, I doubt it. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
All right, and once again, our new email address for asking questions, leaving comments is podcast@fandroid.com. And if you want to tweet at us, like MarkofTheBeast, which is a pretty cool name, we're @MobileRoarcast. And that's going to wrap things up for this week, I think. Next week, Chris is going to be in Barcelona for MWC, so don't count on there being an episode next week. Maybe we'll have one, maybe not, but probably not. So we'll catch up with you guys after that. Once again, I want to mention that you can subscribe to the podcast on TuneIn now, if that's what you use, and we're still available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and pretty much everywhere else. And you can follow us on Twitter. Chris is @GamerCore, Ashley is @OverlordRoar, and I am @TallSchmo. We will see you guys after the craziness of MWC. Later.
Later.